6A. There's going to be a 6A and a 6B. I changed my mind and I'm adding something. So I've got my watercolor painting here still on the board, and I've decided I want to do a couple extra things to it. And you have some choices here to finish it off. You can use some Sharpies, or you can use some more of the watercolor pencils, or you can even use some Prismacolor pencils, which are just the regular color pencils. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm feeling like this needs like a little bit more contrast. So what you can do is you can go in and just start shading and not using any water with these. So you can kind of shade just like you would a colored pencil, so you can get some nice value changes, like get some nice shadows, like beef up some of the areas that are a little bit darker, make them a little bit stronger. So you can just go in and you'll just leave the texture of the colored pencil, like the watercolor pencil. So if there's some colors in the Prismacolored pencils that you would prefer, that's where you can add some of those as well. So if there's a color that you didn't have as watercolors, but you want as just regular colored pencil, you can go in and add that. So this can kind of accent certain areas. You can bring out some shadows. You can kind of clean up some edges that maybe are not as neat. Okay. I could also take like this magenta color here that I have down here. Maybe I want to bring that more up into the sky area. So maybe I want to start shading and adding some of that up here, kind of repeating one of the colors that I have. We repeat to create unity. So I'm kind of unifying this bottom really warm area with the top now. So I can even add like little lines of this in some spots. Okay, so that's step one. So that's one option, I mean. The other option is to use Sharpie, and I have a printout, okay, that I'm going to show you this on. So this is here. So what you can do is you can take Sharpies and you can start adding lines, you can add patterns, you can add all sorts of things. So let's say I wanted, you know, some people might want to use and do a bold outline. That could be an option. That would certainly abstract and flatten out your image if you used a bold line. Now I'm going with the extra fine point, and then I have some Sharpie pens. Do not go with the chisel tip. No chisel tip. All right, I gotta turn this so I can actually draw this. So I could do some outlines as an option. If that isn't your thing, you know, you could do patterns. I could take and do tons of little dots. And maybe I keep the dots closer together where the values are darker, and I have them kind of further apart where the values are lighter to kind of give the indication of value change. So that it looks darker where the dots are closer together and it looks kind of lighter where the dots are further apart. I could go in with some cross hatching. So we know cross hatching is where you take lines one way and then you go back the other way. Okay, so I could do some cross hatching in some spots if I wanted to. What other kind of patterns could I do? I could do swirls, I could do zigzag lines, I could write, I could use the lyrics, and I could write really small in some of these spaces and kind of create some texture with words. I'm writing in here, you can't see it. You just want to add, if you need to add a little extra, like you feel like your project doesn't feel complete, this would be a great way. Okay, you also could do, if you take the tape off, which is video 6B, which you want to watch, you could also do some patterning in that little border if you'd like. Or you could do some patterning on the final paper that you're going to put this on, the black paper, before you turn it in. You could also do some designs on there as well if you'd like. Okay, so those are just a couple of options. So come talk to me about what you're thinking before you get started.